A new platform to connect with nonprofits and more. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Newday Impact is CEO Doug Heske. Hi, Doug.
Good morning, Fred. Great to be with you today.
Pleasure to see you. Now, give us a bit of background on what Newday is.
Yes, well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having us on the program. This is obviously a very exciting day for us as we're launching something that will ultimately be an incredibly powerful platform that allows individuals, mission-aligned individuals and institutions to get connected with those things that they care most about. So our organization, Newday Impact, is about 8 years old right now and was created based upon this idea that we wanted to democratize access to values-based responsible investment, education, and charitable fundraising. And so we, as a group of professionals that had spent a lot of time in the impact investment business, noted that there were some significant challenges that we felt needed to be addressed. The first was this idea that individuals with lower levels of financial affluence and influence didn't have the same types of opportunities to invest alongside those things that they cared most about. The second was something that we still very much suffer from today, and that is all of the greenwashing, blue washing, social washing that goes on, not just in the investment community, but also the corporate world in general. So we are literally a platform that we describe as an impact realization platform that gives individuals, and in some circumstances, institutions, opportunities to get involved, get informed, and get invested in those things that they care most about.
I guess it can be difficult for people to get the kinds of data or information that they can really rely on.
Absolutely. And I think this has certainly been a challenge over the last decade or so. And even many of the big rating agencies that have spent, decades developing and then issuing impact ratings are doing what we describe as sort of check the box research, and has been defined more broadly in the community as inauthentic. So when we first started the business, one of the things that we really wanted to do was to turn the approach to impact investing and education on its head. So we started by creating what are these very, very important relationships with some of the most distinguished impact organizations, nonprofits, and NGOs on a global scale, and began building relationships with them. So that allows us to tell the impact story in very, very different ways from anybody else that's doing it today.
Interesting. And now you have Newday INFORM. Tell us about the concept.
We have Newday INFORM. And so this has been more than a year and a half in the making. And over the course of the last number of years, as I had shared with you, we've been developing relationships with institutions like Jane Goodall Institute and Earth Echo International, which is the Cousteau nonprofit serving ocean health, the Georgie Bedell Foundation. Georgie was the former Miss Africa and Miss Burkina Faso, and a very successful international model that took all of that capital that she earned as a successful international model and created what was a water foundation that supported her home country, Burkina Faso, the people that are in it, supporting clean drinking water, women's empowerment, and sanitation issues over there. So we started the year with what were these 6 foundational impact partners recognized on the world stage. And we have been quickly onboarding now more than 32 nonprofits and NGOs that are becoming a part of the Newday INFORM platform. So what is Newday INFORM? Newday INFORM is a community platform. It is an education platform, and it is a charitable fundraising platform for all of these organizations that are suffering now from the very significant federal cutbacks. They're all looking for answers and ways to meet that funding gap that they're now enduring as a result of all of this. So we provide a potential solution, and a potential solution that is all about democratization, allowing what is this mass movement of younger people and mission-aligned investors of all ages to participate.
So step us through how that would work, how people and nonprofits maybe can take advantage of what you're doing here.
That is a great question. So our nonprofit organizations, which are verified and accredited by Newday, are empowered or permissioned to upload content directly into the Newday INFORM platform, available in iOS, Android, and in web. So they are what I would describe as sort of an expert network around impact and delivering what is very, very valuable content to lend an understanding as to the work that they and only they are doing to support what are 6 foundational pillars of impact that we embrace as an organization, which are climate action, air quality, water quality, including oceans, regeneration and sustainable soil, biodiversity and animal welfare, and human equity, which is a very broad subject today as well. So an individual can sign up on the platform on any one of those through any one of those devices and set up their handle, their user information for no cost whatsoever and become a consumer of what is this very valuable information. If they'd like to make a capital contribution, literally of any size, they can go into the platform and select donate and make a direct contribution to any one of these 32 organizations. This has become in a very short order, a very powerful platform in that while we have 32 organizations on the platform today, we have another 40 in queue right now that are in the process of onboarding. And many of these are global organizations recognized on the world stage for the deep and powerful impact work that they're pursuing.
And what you're saying is that consumers who want to get involved can be assured that these organizations have been vetted, that the money's going where they say it's going.
That's correct. And mind you that this is just what is the first stage of something that we brand under Newday Impact One. So Newday Impact One is the broader financial technology platform that will allow people to get informed, get involved, and get invested. The invest piece, as a little bit of a precursor for what comes this summer, rolls out in Q3 of this year, which will include opportunities for people to take a small amount of capital or a large amount of capital and allocate that to the issues that they care most about. Most importantly, it will also allow users to take a percentage of their annual earnings and contribute those annual earnings anywhere between 0 and 100% each year back to the impact partners of their choice.
And I assume this is a different kind of investing, that your object isn't to make a lot of money.
We are very mindful of expenses, and there isn't any cost for the Newday INFORM platform today other than what our embedded fees use for processing through one of our vendors that we use in the platform. But we have a reputation as an organization for doing things in a very cost-effective way. Over the course of the last 8 years, Newday has largely been engaged in working with very large families on the global stage and managing their impact capital. We have earned a reputation for authenticity relative to the work that we've done with those families, and we are now taking that entire body of work and delivering that into what is a much larger community of mission-aligned community members and investors.
And I guess what I was getting at was the investors here in these situations and with these organizations aren't looking for big returns. That's not what this is about.
Yeah, I think so. We have a perspective in our organization that impact investing, certainly investing in the public marketplace, is non-concessionary. And that has much to do with this idea of identification of great companies. So what are great companies? Great companies create extraordinary returns for their shareholders. Great companies leave a lasting impact on the communities in which they're living and operating in. And as a result of that, they are creating assets on a company's balance sheet that aren't necessarily easily identified by most investors, And that over time has proven to be, at least given the work that Newday has done, additive to generating alpha in our portfolios. So we will not only deliver what are public investment opportunities associated with impact, but over the course of the next year or so, we will also be developing opportunities to invest in projects aligned with our impact partners, and also venture opportunities for organizations that are doing really powerful private work on the impact side. We also recognize that public securities investing isn't necessarily directly tied to impact unless individuals are using their shareholder voices to advocate for change. So we have a phrase that we use within our organization, that capital plus advocacy equals impact. We achieve that impact in a variety of different ways in association with the work that we're doing with our impact partners.
And Doug, besides the ability to invest here for people and maybe organizations, Newday is also doing things on its own to better the world. Tell me about that.
We are very much committed to the mission and living the same values that we expect our clients to live as well. So we take a percentage of our revenues as an organization and contribute those revenues directly back to our impact partners. There is also work that we're doing with our set of family office and foundations to make introductions for capital or charitable capital purposes into our impact partners as well. So we're not just talking the talk, but walking the walk.
And for more info, where's the best place for people to go?
Best place to go is to newdayinform.com or Newday Impact, which is our website.
Terrific. Doug Heske, thank you for taking the time with us.
Fred, thank you very much. A pleasure to be here today.